Okay, so what happens? You have these two people and they have their own perspective, their own point of view, their own experience and way of experiencing consciousness. And let's say, using me and Max or Isabel and Michael, they're juxtaposed, they're opposite. Let's say Isabel says, I don't want to live with Michael. Michael says, I want to live with Isabel.
Yeah.
How does that, and I'm talking about, I guess, in the extrapolation of the physical, we can't, because, okay, I'm being devil's advocate, because beings have free will, right? Well,
Yes.
relatively, depending on the amount of programming and how you're letting it run your life. But ultimately, the all that we are has free will. So how do you work with your clients when somebody says, I want James to love me? And let's say James doesn't want to love you. How do you coach that as far as real world versus, I mean, of course, you can make James love you in every fantasy, every way you want for the rest of your however many lives you have. But do you know what I mean? How does that play out in the physical when there's two opposed free will wants or desires?
For me, because I'm selfish and knowing like there's this guy I want and I did everything I could to get him, even
Right.
though different families, different interests, different people in there and everything else. I just chose to be selfish and like, I'm going to get what I want. So when I work with clients, I'm going to represent my client. And
Oh.
let's say my client wants to be with a guy or whoever, and the other person doesn't want that. I'm like, okay, let's do everything we can to see how you can shift your reality where you're going to tune in to the point where he and you connect on the same point. And it's going to happen where the guy will, because he doesn't want to, he will not be living with that girl. And that reality like will not ever happen for him. But for her, because she wants to, and she's working with like manifesting it and removing agreements or kind of blockages she has, she's going to achieve the end result if she believes in it. But if she's like, oh, I want the guy, I'm doing everything, but I'm having blockages, and she just creates a reality where there is something in the way, she can create like variations of where she is with the guy, she does everything she can, but it's not working because there are blockages. And then depends on what we believe and focus on, we're going to create that. But every single aspect and possibility is there, present. We just need to tune into it.
So let's say he didn't want it and she wanted it and she did everything you said. And let's say one aspect of him is living with her in this reality. Are you saying there's another aspect of him not living with her in this reality that he's living? Oh my God, that like blows my mind. I can barely comprehend that. Do you know kind of what I mean? Because that is so crazy empowering. Because we're not really violating free will, because their perception and their perspective is still living the life that they think they want in this present moment.
And
But
for me,
manifested the life with whoever or whatever that you want in this present moment without violating what they want.
Absolutely. And the best thing is that it's not just with people, it's with entities, reptilians, Dracos, AI, anyone. So if they're messing with you, you can like make a deal. Okay, well, there's the reality where I have messed with you and hurt you, and now you're coming after me. How about I create a reality where you do get what you want, and you just tune into that, and you leave me alone? And they're like, okay, they had their needs met, and they just shift their consciousness and go into where they can play where they're winning, and they leave you alone to do whatever they want to do, and now you're free of their targeting. Because you tune into that possibility and create that reality for yourself. And we're going to have both, where you do suffer from them and where you created a way out.
So it goes back to the primary and only rule of any reality to some extent, which is whatever you believe is real.
Yes.
And really, whatever it's not what you like mentally believe. It's like a being energetic believing. It's more than just like chanting random statements, right? It's really what you're putting your energy and your focus on.
Absolutely. Because like the difference of us being present here in this reality and then all the dreams we're living, like let's say you fall asleep, you go in dreamland, like there's that reality, and the only difference is where your consciousness is more present. Where do you focus on more? Because like some of us can just drown in those
Wait
dreams
a
and live for
minute, wait a
years.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I just got it. Wait a minute. I just got, regardless of what's happening, it doesn't matter for what I'm going to say. When we go to sleep, we've been programmed to give up our consciousness willingly under the program of night and day, which is a program in my knowledge. I mean, here's a great question. Do we need sleep? But that's another conversation for another time. But so we've been programmed that it's okay and safe for most people to go to sleep, giving up our present point of perception and consciousness, allowing oversoul, secret space, military, ETs, other aspects of ourselves to come in and take over, right? Or other people even.
Yes.